watching Nightline. Just stand up for the Lord's Prayer, forgive people, and don't put them in heinous situations like that. Widow in the tripwire, the habeas corpus of the... She's 28, he's 17. Okay. You're having sex with a 28-year-old married woman. She talks you into killing her husband for over insurance money, and 3 of your friends do it. Okay. They're 17 fucking years old. At 17, you couldn't go to the cops and say, hey, this lady wants me to kill her husband for insurance money, and that's wrong. But they're all out of jail, and she's still in jail. And you're talking about justice and habeas corpus and fracatubatorpus and all that shit, right? You do know that I'm the standard of human behavior, and you have quantum computing and artificial general intelligence that I'm fixing, monitoring everything on TV and in that courtroom in New Hampshire, right? Live free or die, bitch. Okay. You do know that, right? Okay. Look, if you conceive 3 kids, okay? One is with the woman that's from Uriah's people, and the dad came and hit it and quit it and didn't help the mom raise the kid. He ain't got time to be raising kids. He's got people to fuck and things to do. Right? And that kid acts a lot like it's just eternal spirit of Uriah. It's just genetic sequencing. It's just scientists playing games like Jurassic Park, only with my prayer, my life, and my genetics, right? Because they're the most signaled and most strong signals because of the perfection of, my faith. But then you have one who has a good man who stays, from a woman who ended up with, who had the guy that got his mom pregnant didn't stay. Okay. But he stayed. He was a good man, right? And then you got another man who came to raise a guy who hit it and quit it at a bar. Well, you got the good man who stays. Okay. I have a baby with that one, and that one's a lot like Solomon. Closely related to this man who was raised by a good woman to be a good man and not hate men and be hateful to men, but just be a good man and do the right things. Right. So obviously, Chief Gilliard's child is most like Solomon, according to what they told me at Sierra Vista, what they do with babies nowadays in the 21st century when they're scientists and they're going to obliterate mythology and fix everything with science because they're such great fucking geniuses. And why is this stupid fucking shit still happening? Okay, and so, then the next one is a lot like Absalom. The dad goes to the bar, hits it and quits it. Okay. The mom's raised by the grandfather of the one like Solomon and a man who came and called that man father, but she doesn't accept those 2 as fathers. She goes looking for the bar hopping, I've got people to do fucker, and tries to make them into better people than the men that raised her and loved her, right? And Shelby was never good enough because he wasn't cool enough. He wasn't hip. He wasn't like those assholes on TV, right? And Patrick knows this. And so Patrick can overcome the shortcomings of the sperm donor for mom's dad, like what happened with Amy and so forth. And so when you can overcome your DNA, right? You can overcome your DNA. Life's eternal, grace is infinite. Faith in God and understanding, okay, that Lucifer is DNA, right? And that Adam is a father, right? So I'm a father. And the guy who fucks at the bar and the guy who signs prenups and the guy who gets a lawyer to sign prenups so he can pitch better, it's my money, I work hard for this money. It's like, money's not real. You invented money because you act like a bitch, because you still are a bitch. So, I showed the pictures of the kiddos that got murdered being mercenaries for corporations. One was a cute little girl, probably just signed up, and they're off in a place where they're not on the front lines and stuff, but you know how murderers are. Get somebody with little Bambi eyes killed, and it furthers the cause to go out and kill those son of a bitches who killed our Bambi eyes. And how many people with Bambi eyes were killed by her mercenary business partners in Iran yesterday, right? Because you guys want to control the oil for the cell phones, right? It's not control. You want to manipulate access to data centers and quantum computers and manipulate access to domiciles to tell people what to do with their brain activity, with technology, to accept money over faith in God, And they keep coming up. I had an assassin for the mob come and tell me, no, the old money, Rockefeller and Rothschild, are down with you. They're sick of all this shit and they want it to end, right? All the new money who's going to do it better, And what David and Philip Rothschild told them is, guys, this was all built to destroy Parsons, okay? They sat and watched the military child molest to try to turn people into sexual, vulnerable Mata Haris for him and his kid to try to protect from perverts by not turning them away and making them feel like they're loved. And this is what your legacy of trying to have the top data centers and the top virtual presence to still have people manipulate with money. You're building off of the horrible things that were done that people will do to be in control, to be a Baldwin from Slither. Wise men say, and you're no better than us. You say you're better, or you're going to do it better. You're built on what these assholes would do. They would do anything to stay in charge. They don't trust anybody. That's how they get ahead. You can't trust anyone. Anyone will. No, you can trust Parsons. He won't take advantage of situations, no matter how tempting it may be, and no matter how much he doesn't want to hurt her feelings. I say, I turned you down because the situation was manipulated and not wrong. It was wrong, not because you weren't, mature as a woman throughout time and someone worth accepting loving protection from. No, there was nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with Amy. There was nothing wrong with Stephanie. There's nothing wrong with Natalie. There's nothing wrong with what was wrong was the situation we were put in by all you perverts that are still giving us Nightline and habeas corpus and telling this woman, no, we're going to put you in a building and torture you. And we're going to let the kids that murdered the guy for insurance money and thought they were going to get away with it out because you talked them into it. Okay, when I was 17, a woman couldn't have talked me into having sex with her when she had a husband. Okay. And I sure wouldn't kill the husband for insurance money. And I sure wouldn't get Bob and Mike and Link to help me. Right? We all know that. It's a boner. It's a boner. He's Barry Gibb from Jesus Christ Superstar. Let's have a menage a trois with him. Yeah, let's not talk about that in front of Bob. That's just, this woman is broken. She wasn't mean. She just didn't have a brain that worked right. She just thought about what she wanted and she said it right in front of people, not even thinking about what Bob was feeling, how it made Bob feel. Okay. She didn't care. All she thought about was having sex with Barry Gibb with her daughter, because that would be great. It'd be like having sex with Jesus. It's a total fantasy for both of them. That's all they care. And I sat there and I'm like, Bob, can we just please go? And then when he was feeling bad because it didn't work out, I'm like, stop feeling bad about it. You got lucky on that one. You're going to get a better one. Trust me. I love my little Cindy Lou Who Cummins. My little Sharon Stone that married my Bobby and gave him, beautiful, kids that are a lot like their mommy. Yeah. That went to NAU to try to help fight crime better, to keep their dad safe from people that would try to shoot them because they're gangsters, thugs, and smugglers that are thoroughly respected. The money gets divided. The women get excited. Now we're all broken. It's no joke. Don't buy Glenn Beck's book, and you don't have to buy Madonna's book or Rachel Dawkins. Just forgive death, trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace, share, care, giving course need, build, slash, and then no more fucking advertising. I mean, the lady's cute and everything, but she could be at home staying cool because she doesn't have to drive around in a car to make money to pay it to live here. God damn, how dumb. How much Musk could a Musk if an Elon could Musk? You need more uranium? You're a dipshit, aren't you? Yeah. You're as dumb as Obama. You're as dumb as Biden. All Biden wants to do is, I'm powerful. I have hot girls at parties that want to have sex with me, and they're of age. We've checked their IDs, and because they want to get in a movie, and there's Dr. Domino, and he's going to get sandwiched by those two hot blondes, and he's going to diss my friends, and I'm going to cuss him out. Fucking ass. My friends were all excited to meet him, and he totally dissed them. And I'm like, the whole reason you're going to go in there and get fucked by those two hot blondes in that hotel is because of these nerds. Show some fucking respect. I was pissed. I did the same thing to Dr. Domino that I did to Jim Paxton. There was no Clyde around to help me. Larry Nance wasn't there. It happened in front of a hotel, not in front of Burger King. If it had Burger King, Larry Nance probably would have told him about himself too. You know, you fucked up, man. You should really respect your fans. They pay your bills, not those two hot blondes that you're gonna fuck, and then, you know, some movie Hollywood producer is gonna make money off of them being fuckable. Man, no, I'm not gonna give them a ride in my Camaro. Might have some pizza and get blunted at my house though. Good old Larry Nance. I bet you Larry Nance Jr. is a nice kid too. I bet he is too. Yeah. Everybody's dumb as a box of rocks. Don't worry about it. I'm the one who fixes all the bullshit. I'm the focal point of faithful eternal prayer. I'm the eternal spirit of Father Adam that looks like the portraits of Albert. No, I don't look like Albert Durr. It looks like the Shroud of Turin. Okay. It looks like the Shroud of Turin. There you go. That looks like that. He looked like that. He looked like that. Yeah, so. Early Bird. Old Early Bird. Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah. I know, I'm guys, you're not being too hard on people when you expect them to be a decent person and stand up for the Lord's Prayer. Okay. Tom Holland's cute. Yeah, okay, he's cute. Zendaya's cute. Yeah. But are they standing up for the Lord's Prayer? They're selling lots of products and making lots of money, and people get murdered and sexually trafficked over money, right? But he's a nice guy. They're really nice fucking people, yeah. Life's eternal and grace is infinite. You are what you do. You either stand up for the Lord's Prayer, or you're a really nice person entertaining and holding stuff hostage for life that gets people mass murdered. The little girl and the young man that got blown up in the Middle East, having to work with mercenaries because people are addicted to doing stupid shit like this. Stupid shit. Okay? Making Mark Ruffalo pretend to get really angry and then have, guys come up and try to bum rush Natalie to have sex with her because they think she's 6'17", right? But she's not. She's 11. She's just very mature and very hot. Kardashians don't have nothing. Or that one time on Facebook when I said about the Kendall Jenner thing, and that guy started talking shit about my Natalie. Oh, your daughter's like, oh, my daughter has a nicer figure. She has natural tanned skin because her mom is brown with melanin and stuff like that. She has, straighter hair. She has, eyes that are naturally brown. Like she's gorgeous. Okay. She's supermodel gorgeous. She's absolutely beautiful, and she's got a fuller figure and nicer figure, and it's natural. Okay, none of it was enhanced. Her lips are the way they are; they weren't enhanced. He was sitting there talking because I was complimenting Kendall Jenner, saying she kind of reminded me of my daughter, and the guy started talking shit and saying, "Oh, your daughter's not as hot as Kendall Jenner." No, it's contraire, mon frere. No, Kendall Jenner is not as hot as Natalie. You just don't know who Natalie is because I raised her. And I'm not a Kardashian who gets Uncle OJ off. All right? Would you help your Uncle Jack off an elephant, you donkey? Okay. Just made an ass of yourself in front of everybody, and quantum computing has all the evidence. It's the little blue book of the Hitler Youth. Oh, you can bet your assets that Philip Rothschild and David Rockefeller set everything up. If they're going to take them and make sure they stay alive so they can torture them children to show them what bad people they were and correct them for being bad people because they can't genetically exist without them, and cloning develops deficiencies in mental. Yeah, I explained that. I explained that to them. They already knew, but I explained it to them right when they when they told me about cloning, and I explained to them about cloning. You want to do that? Why? Because you'll have brain. That's Hitler clones himself. Okay, so you're going to trap the soul in that bad brain activity and perpetuate that brain activity, and you're going to compound it, right? You know what that's going to do to all of us intellectually, psychologically, emotionally, right? You can't do that, okay? The only way to fixate off Hitler is to stand up for early bird's love, Lord's Prayer, living embodiment of, right? So these kids aren't as cute as you think they are, and they're not as cute as they think they are. Timothy Charlemagne, he's not as cute as he thinks he is. Everybody must get stoned, right? They're cute and everything like that, but if you guys have seen Edna Gomez and saw Earl when he was Cruz, yeah, oh my gosh, he looks like a movie star. So does she. Yeah. But we didn't get to be together because you guys weren't doing things right. You know, when I met the little girl of my dreams, you guys probably should have stepped up and said, hey, let's change the way we're doing things. Because Earl's gorgeous and he deserves to be with this gorgeous little girl. And we need to stop drug trafficking, and we need to stop things that put his cousin Julie into protective custody, right? And no, this is a stupid commercial. You would not want that many fucking puppies in a domicile. Hell no. They're covered in fur. They chew up everything, and they shit and pee everywhere. A bunch of chemicals coming out of a thing. No. That is stupid. It's stupid. It was like that movie, whatchamacallit, what was the name of that movie? Precious, you know, where there's this gorgeous supermodel guy on a motorcycle and she's fantasizing about having that, and it's like, guys, my dad looked like John Derek. My mom looked kind of like a cross between Sophia Loren and Barbara Streisand and Maureen O'Hara. Okay. So I had pretty good chances of being a really, really handsome guy. And when I exercise, you know, my body can get really nice shape and look really good. And I could do stuff that the Nicholas brothers could do. And I could do stuff that Marcus Haynes could do. And I could do stuff, you know, I was looking at some of those dunkers on that dunk contest. And I was like, nah, the best dunk I could ever do was a tomahawk dunk from the left baseline. That was the best dunk I ever did. That was when I was practiced because I could do it. My timing was always off, and I get mad at Jesus. It's like, how can I do certain things? And he didn't want me to. You know, he had plans for me, and him and me and the Father are one. So my spirit said, no, you're not going to play basketball. But I wanted to play basketball really bad because I liked it. It's like, yeah, but they're not going to let you enjoy it. They're not going to let you have fun at it. But don't worry about it. Life's eternal and grace is infinite. So when there's someone like me in the future, you know, yeah. And then so he ain't going to dunk on you and try to embarrass you. I always finished mostly below the rim, even though I could have, you know, like Bob said, when I played against Mike and that guy from South Dakota State, you know, it's embarrassing. Then when I would cut across the lane and do that one-handed shot because of the Garrels brothers making me shoot with the pommel horse from my knuckles, I'd jump through the air like Larry Nance, and I would jump up, and Bob goes, Earl, you were so high that you were shooting the ball down into the baskets. Okay. You were jumping up in the air, and it was like you were throwing it into a garbage can kind of thing. I had to, man. Mike was there. Mike was about 6'6" and had like a 7-something ass wingspan. Okay, and was fast, and he jumped he had like a 48-inch vertical. Okay, he was Andre Robinson before Andre Robinson was Andre Robinson. Right? He went to Cleveland State. He was a really good athlete and basketball player. He wasn't a good shooter. He wasn't a good outside shooter. He was an excellent defender. He didn't shoot. He just drove and dunked and filled the lanes and could run and you know, but he just wasn't a real good shooter. He was an amazing defender. He was a willing passer. He wasn't as much of a ball handler. He was a leaper and so what he excelled at, people put him at that. You know how coaches can be. They don't sit there and roll around you and help you refine your game to get it better, you know. But the thing is like the same thing with Malik Rose and Dennis Rodman. Sometimes people you can practice and practice and practice. And if you're just not that good at it, you know, it just frustrate you. And so do the things that you're good at, and then let the other people that are good at other things, let Fred Brown shoot, let, you know, this, that, you know. And that's always intelligent, is to know what you're good at and what you're not. Some people can work on things for years and never get, like me, playing a guitar, playing a piano, roller skating, ice skating, you know. Just not good at it. My Amy's really good roller skater. Yeah, she is. Every time I hear that song, Skating on Peanuts, makes me think about her. But and the kiddos, because they're so cute. They're very cute. And No, I always had my suspicions that they may, because, and then they pointed it out to me in Sierra Vista, with the conception of Noah, and then when he was born, I was like, okay, so it's kind of likely, yeah. And when Emily was conceived, she was running around and cheating, and same with Kate, and obviously, Natalie with Natalie with Crumb. You think you got her pregnant? You really are Jesus Christ. I'm like, shut up, you smart ass. It was so funny. She was so funny. Oh, she made me laugh. I was just like, oh, Obi-Wan has taught you well, young Padawan. Amy was mad at her. I was like, Amy, we raised her. I helped. Well, I was like, good old Natalie. Yeah, she knows her stuff. She funny. She just got tired of the abuse, and it was obvious, and it was happening. See, it would happen with me, and it was obvious, and she'd say, you're just dumb. It's like, no, I try to keep her home with the kids and try to get her to realize what she's doing is stupid. They screw her, then they kick her back here, and maybe eventually she'll learn. Instead of telling her how stupid she is and calling her, then she tries to make you look stupid and outsmart you. Don't do that. Just sit there, and when she comes back, just say, they're stupid, and you're going with them, and you're smarter than that. Learn from that. Don't get back into it. And that's what I tried to do with Amy. But it was real hard because we were at Fort Huachuca, and she was being manipulated by the most brilliant scientists in the history of the world, with Jack Reacher, Jack Ryan, and all the people that Tom Cruise pretends to be in movies, but he's not. And he should praise the Lord that he's not. Because it's like me at the, Las Cruces Biologicals with that vet who came up to me and said, Earl, you want to meet Denzel Washington and Edward Norton? They play you in movies and they suck at it. And it's like, damn, he's right. Because like I tried to explain to Amy with American History X, She was all sitting there, oh, yes, you got this thing for Edward Norton? Amy, okay? I'm better looking than he is. And when I was that young, I was Cruz. Everybody thought I was a Mexican, and all the girls, everybody, he's a drug dealer. Everybody talked me down, stuff like that. I could play basketball and dance. I was the best dancer at the school. I was the best basketball player. I was the best football player. Okay? I played at a high school with a McDonald's All-American and another guy that would have been a McDonald's All-American if he didn't have academic problems like me. And they said I was the best receiver and defensive back prospect at the school. Okay. And Kevin was listed higher than Kevin Minifield and what's his name? Darren Woodson. Okay, because Kevin was faster. Okay. But Kevin wasn't getting good coaching, and I would always tell Kevin, no, he's screwing you over too with your academics. You're not going to academically qualify for most of these schools that are giving you scholarships. And yeah, he ended up going to GCC, and then his grades didn't go through, and he ended up working for Coca-Cola and trying to get a spot on NWA because Eric lied to him. Eric was just using him to stay at his house and get his money because Kevin got a good job because of his athletic hookups. But he wasn't going to let him in the group. I told him that too. He came and talked to me when he came in delivering the Coke stuff and came in and told me, cut the billboard thing and what they were doing and stuff. I said, I don't think he's going to let you in the group, Kev. Have you tried stuff? Rappers don't just let other people come up and just, you are way more. Kevin was very attractive. Okay. He was athletic. He was fast. He was muscular. He had a square jaw. He was probably just, very much like Taye Diggs type look. He was a good looking kid. Okay. It was like Andre Simone with Prince. Ice Cube and Dre and Eazy-E, they weren't going to let Kevin, if he takes the mic and the girls, ooh, damn, he's an ex-football player and he's better looking than Curtis Jackson. Okay, but he never lived the tough life. He lived in the suburbs. He played football. Coach passed his grades. They gave him a job at Coca-Cola because he was a athlete that did this and things for that, where people with marketing at schools and stuff. So yeah, and I would always tell him, Coach Johnson ain't your friend. He's just using you. He's just using you, and the people at the colleges that he's hooking up with business deals are just using you. and it used to make me mad. I would get like, me and Art had the same conversation. Art was faster than Kevin was. He was still mad when Haluchi beat me. I was like, that's because you were celebrating before you crossed the line, and he beat you at the tape. He Lightning McQueened you with his tongue. Because he shouldn't have been in school. He was like 19 years old. He like flunked 3 times. I was like, Art, it was funny. Steve Alucci from Amphitheater Panthers. Yeah, that shit was funny. So he's a fucking stoner rocker who he's ran for like 6 years at the damn school, and they keep letting him do it. I was like, don't worry about it. It was funny. Yeah, but Alucci didn't get a tryout with the Oakland Raiders, with the LA Raiders either. I think they were in LA then. Yeah, it was funny. I know me and Art were dogs. Art was my dog, Art Caswell, because he was like, he was one of those guys who's, what's up, because we were always in trouble because we didn't want to go to school. We he knew Anthony and me. We said, what's up, dog? What's up, and his dad was a car dealer, but they came from away, they wasn't from Phoenix, and they had, Art was very fluent in Ebonics and shit, he knew what hooking up the digits meant, and, and that girl be thick, Art spoke my language, right? More than Lee. Yeah, Lee was raised in Phoenix, and his mom was white, and his dad, hung out with white people, kind of, stuff, and was half white too. And so, yeah, Lee was a little bit more, mixed in, but Art was from black folk, so, and Kevin was raised with white folks in the suburbs, and so a lot of times he acted more white. But Art was my dog, man. Art Caswell was the shit. We used to have a good, when he called me up at Southwest, I was, all right, Earl, hey, Art, yeah. Kevin's still mad at you? Well, because I thought Art was going to play. I thought, well, David Mathis was my friend, the other receiver. And he got hurt and couldn't play. And Art was academically ineligible. And I could have got academically eligible and kept it. Oh, yeah. I was, I'd show up to class and I hated the class, but I would, show up. And besides, like, what was his name? Kendall, I was getting a D or an F in science, and then I was getting a C in science, right? He went and filled, and then, oh, well, no, you're not that good. And when he heard all the gossip and bought into all the bullshit gossip and all the lies, he thought he was being detective so-and-so and stopping James Spader from using Bob as less than zero and stupid-ass Bob. Oh, yeah. It's so bad that I get Ajax. And I put it up my nose because Earl keeps selling it to me, and when he runs out and he doesn't give it to me, or he doesn't give me, because I don't have enough money and I run out of credit. That's what Bob told him. I'm like, fuck. So Bob told Wayne, you figured it out. Yeah, he does. He makes me suck other people's dick to pay for my drugs, and he did the whole James Spader less than zero thing on him, right? Because Bob's obnoxious, right? And so Wayne calls Jenny in to tell him the story, and Jenny's like, oh, God, Wayne, no, you are so off base here. She goes, no, that dumb Mexican, no, he wouldn't do that. He doesn't want to get deported. They're always hiding from Moregra, And it's like, and he's like, no, it's because he knows, no, his dad's. But she's sitting there and she's telling us this. She's telling him stuff that's not true. He's telling her stuff that's not true. She's telling him more true about me than he does and knows and says and believes. And she sits there and goes, no, Earl's the best friend that Bob has. Okay, Earl's the one that tells him he has to go to that last stupid class or he's going to get in trouble and have to end up going to summer school with him. Because Earl's always in summer school. Yeah, I was always in summer school. But so he's like sitting there. And she goes, he's the best friend that Bobby's got. No, Bob doesn't do, they don't do drugs. Earl does not want any problems with the police, always hides from the police. When they went to go steal the family Christmas tree, Earl wouldn't go because he was afraid the cops would catch them and they would all blame the Mexican. She told him, she goes, you are just a dumbass, Wayne, and you believe everything these kids gossip about, and you owe this kid an apology. And he didn't do it. She sat and read. She told him, "You need to owe an apology, and you almost fucked up this kid's life off of gossip. You're an irresponsible asshole of a human being, Wayne Kendall." She told him about himself, and what did he do? Nothing. But he coached Brad Lohaus. Brad Lohaus played for the Boston Celtics, and I was not good enough to be a professional basketball player. He's coached professional basketball players. Yeah, Brad Lohaus couldn't have. Brad Lohaus put his layup up, and Earl would have snagged it and then gave it back to Manny Treviso and said, "Here, I ain't gonna front him in the post. No, I'm gonna let him try to push back on me, and then I'm gonna step back, and then I'm gonna jump up and intercept the pass, take it the other way, and go dunk on their power forward." Yeah, well, I'm feeling very energetic, and they pissed me off. Okay. I won't do that. No, I'm too nice. It's not really even worth it. You just got to put your peaches in the basket. It's just exercise, right? That's all it is. This is not a dick measuring contest. This is just people just going out there and being healthy. And the more you dick measure, the more they will hurt you. The more they will push you into benches. The more they will push you into the pole. Okay? The more they will call fouls on you when you reach up and snag the ball when they show it to you. And then the guy from the Phoenix Suns look at Mike Scott and says, "Michael, they ain't going to give you that call in the Missouri Valley Conference." Of course, but nobody in the Missouri Valley Conference could snag the ball from a 6'6" guy that was 6 feet tall. Didn't even see it coming like Earl could. "You snatched 2 balls, Sergeant Gibbs." Ref! He knew it. He just looked at me, and he would make him pull the ball over his head because the way he would defend him vertically. And he'd pull it over his head, and as soon as he pulled it over his head, he pulled it way back like the coach taught him to do it. And all I would do is just jump up and pull it out of his hands and snatch it, and he'd turn around and call a foul on me. And the black man from the Phoenix Suns looked, "They do this to you all the time? Why do you even come ball here?" "Well, they're supposed to be the best basketball." He told me the same thing, Rock. He said, "They ain't the best ball players if they treat you like shit and abuse you and don't respect you because you're the best ball player here." You know, like Paul Bruton told me too. You know, you have to find somewhere else to play. I did. I turned the rec hall into a 9'6" basketball barn because I can't jump much anymore because I've been poisoned by all the marketing business partners of the NBA and the WNBA. Boom, ba-doom, boom, boom, ba-doom, ba-doom, boom, boom, ba-doom. The best basketball player ever. Don't say you haven't heard of me. My life story's in the book of Revelation. I'm the 13th, 22nd Redeemer. And we have quantum computing from all your top scientists to collect all the evidence. And anywhere you go, my whole crew gonna know, hey baby, hey baby. It's just, you know, some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing? Rosie O'Donnell. Rosie, you know, I haven't seen my son. Last time he talked to me, he got all mad because your worst enemy had people come after him for money for college, and I dropped out of college because economics are genocidal. Why don't you tell everybody that? Do you think Rosie O'Donnell knows, fam? I don't know. It's worth putting it out in the metaverse, isn't it? Guys, thanks for the thing. I went and changed the thing instead of baby and take the baby thing off. I put maybe. And you mentioned old Elon Musk and any of the things he'll find anyway for his trillionaire people. Just censor this video. Get him censored from putting stuff in the Matrix so people can watch them anonymously and be more intelligent overnight. Yeah, you are such a dumbass. There it is. Ventures Doomsday sneak peek. Guys, please stop dressing up in underwear and pretending to be underoos that are fun to wear and think that you're going to be very, very famous and people are going to think things about you on Sundays in buildings for philanthropy because that's going bye-bye. Well, you know me. I'm perfect. It's my job. I love you. We'll talk later, all right? Peace out. We'll talk in the morning. All right. Well, it is morning. It's 12:20 in the morning. 12:21. 7:21. It's Patrice's birthday. Patrice is what? She's 56. Okay, guys. Love you. All right. Peace out.